Welcome to Linear Programming Computer Simulation. So kanina, we discussed linear programming in a manual computation way. Bakit nga ba natin ginagawa si linear programming in computer simulation? Kasi to make our work more efficient. We're gonna make our time more efficient when producing insights. Probably it's just gonna cost you 5 to 10 minutes to produce an insight using this. Pero sa manual computation, it will take you probably 30 to 1 hour, and it's really not efficient. So, katulad lang din ng case natin dun sa manual computation, yun din ang gagamitin natin. So, let me read the case for you. Tata Piling Carpentry is a small business located in Napalit, Pampanga. They sell tables and cabinets. They earn 4,500 every table they sell and 9,000 pesos for the cabinet. It takes 2 hours to make one table and 5 hours for the cabinet. They are limited to 40 hours per week. The average manufacturing cost for the table is 750 pesos and 2,250 for the cabinet. They wish to limit their budget to 15,750 pesos every week. So the question is, how many tables and chairs they need to produce to maximize their profit? So we have two things to consider here. Siyempre, of course, sabi dito, meron silang sales na 4,500 and 9,000 for the cabinet. Right? So, magagamit natin yan mamaya sa objective function. If you still remember yung objective function natin do sa manual computation. And we also have two constraints, 2 for table and 5 for cabinets, and they are limited to do it for 40 hours a week only. And for another constraint, we have a manufacturing cost, 750 for the table and 2,250 for the cabinet. And they wish to limit their budget to 15,750 pesos only. That's for every week. So, una natin gagawin, ilagay muna natin dito yung mesget para maalala nyo na, nga pala, meron tayong pattern about it. Pero hindi natin ito ma-utilize ng buo ngayon. Kasi, compare to manual computation, hindi na natin kailangan gawin to kasi mamaya, the Excel solver will do the magic. Alright? So, wait lang. Yan naman natin. Yan. So, meron tayong mesget here. Let's start with modeling a spreadsheet. But before that, let me just go ahead and create a title for this table. Tata Piling Carpentry. Table, wala na lang na din natin para naman medyo iba siya sa ibang cell. Remember, meron tayong 4, always remember this, we have 4 cells to consider. Meron tayong tinatawag na objective cells, or objective cell. Ang objective cell po natin is the objective function dun sa manual computation natin. Kinukulayan natin siya ng kulay orange. So, lagyan natin dito orange. Tapos, meron din tayong changing cells. Ano nga ba yung mga changing cells natin? Ito yung, this is the answer to the question, how many tables and chairs we're gonna produce. And we're gonna color it color yellow. And of course, we have data cells, which these data came from the client. So, ito yung mga raw data or the given data. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga bagay na hindi mababago. Kasi nga, it came from the client. And we're gonna color it light gray. Para meron tayong basehan. And lastly, of course, meron tayong output cell. Ano nga ba ang output cells? Ang output cells, ito yung data na i-compute natin to show that our suggestion or prescription will not exceed to the constraint. And we're not gonna color it anything. We're just gonna leave it as color white. Okay? Inuulit ko po. Itong mga cells na to, it's not really specifically na naka-design sila na ganito ang kulay. Ginagamit lang natin yung kulay na yan to make our learnings more efficient. Okay? Kasi, para alam mo, pag nakita mo agad yung gray, data cells yan. Pag nakita mo yung changing cells, pag nakita mo yung yellow, ibig sabihin ng changing cells siya. Pag nakita mo yung orange, ito yung pinaka-objective function natin. Ito yung gusto nating malaman kung magkano kikitain natin. Right? So, let's go back to modeling a spreadsheet. So, ito na yan. Nilagyan natin ng title. Now, first is Tata Piling Carpentry is a small business located in Apal, Pampanga. They sell tables and cabinets. Now, they earn 4,500 every table they sell. So, table daw siya. So, lagay muna tayo dito ng table. So, table. And sabi dito, meron din siyang isa pang product which is cabinet. Sorry. Cabinet. Yan. So, meron tayong dalawang product na ipagka-compare. Not really compare, to show. So, sabi dito, 4,500 for the table. Labelan natin yan ng sales. Tapos, ilagay natin dito sa table kung ano yung value niya. 4,500 daw ang kinikita nila every time na nakakabenta sila ng isang table. And for the cabinet, they can sell 9,000 pesos. Right, so lagyan lang din natin siya ng sign, peso sign. Here you go, para medyo magandang tingnan. So anong kulay ang gagamitin natin dito? Since it's given here, we're gonna color it as a data cell which is light gray. We're gonna color it light gray. So we're done with the first information. Now, after that, we have constraint, which is time. Laktawan natin ng onte para malaman natin na this is for objective cells or this is for the sale. It's not constraint. So, maglalaktaw tayo ng isa para merong ma-distinguish natin na kung ano yung constraint natin sa hindi. So, meron tayong constraint. Ang first constraint natin is time. Kasi bakit? 2 hours to make one table and 5 hours to make cabinet. So, kung ilalagay natin siya dito, 2 hours sa table and 5 hours sa cabinet. So, may value na tayo. Maglalaktaw tayo dito for output cells. Lagay natin, labelan na lang natin ng resource used. Yan. Ibig sabihin yan, the combination of the two, of these two, should, yun yung magiging total natin later. So, hindi natin siya kukulayan because it will be our output cell. Maglalagay lang din tayo ng symbol here. Maglalagay tayo ng symbol here na it should be less than or equal to. Sorry. Less than or equal to. Then, sabi dito, they are limited to 40 hours per week. So, kung ilalagay natin dito, 40 hours per week, there. So, nabuo na natin yung una nating constraint. Kulayan lang natin siya ng light gray kasi given sila. Inuulit ko, ito pong nandito sa resource use na to is output cell. Bakit siya nandito? Para nun, may compare natin kung sumobra ba tayo sa 40. Pag nilagyan natin ng formula mamaya yan, dapat hindi lalagpas ng 40 ang magiging result. Okay? So ano nga ba yung mga may formula dito? Ang mga may formula dito is objective cell lang at ating output cell. Ang changing cell, wala po tayong nilalagay na formula dyan and the data cell is constant. Hindi po nababago at hindi po siya formula. Mamaya po, lalagyan natin ng formula yan. Let's go to the second constraint, which is the cost. Ang cost daw natin, the average manufacturing cost for the table is 750 pesos and 2,250 for the cabinet. So, ilalagay natin sa table is 750 and for the cabinet is 2,250. So, ngayon, kung lagyan natin ng symbol para malaman natin na ito ay amount. Sa resource use, wala po tayong ilalagay ulit dyan kasi inuulit ko po, this is an output cells. Lalagyan natin ng formula later yan. So, copy lang natin to. Then, of course, sabi dito, they wish to limit their budget to 15,750. So, 15,750. Lagyan din natin siya ng currency. Tapos, kulayan na ulit natin yung mga data cells natin. There. So, we're done with our table. So, nagawa natin si Mesget. Pero, syempre, kailangan natin ilabas yung changing cells natin. Ito yung magiging sagot natin. Ilan ba ang ipoproduce nating table at ilan ang ipoproduce nating cabinet. So, lagyan natin ng label yan. Lagay natin unit produced. Para hindi tayo malito. Unit produced. Tapos, sabi dito, kulay yellow siya. So, kukulayan natin siya ng color yellow. There. So, next is our objective cell. Lagay na lang natin siya dito. Lagay natin total. Yung total po natin, ibig sabihin nito kung magkano ang kikitain natin kapag pinroduce natin yung nakalagay sa changing cells. Alright? Okay. So, kulayan natin siya ng color orange to indicate that that is our objective cell. Okay, sige. Lagyan naman natin siya ng mga borders para naman magmukha na talaga siyang table. All borders, tapos tick. Pati itong title natin, gawin natin tick. Tapos, bold natin. There you go. Okay na ngayon yung table natin. Ano nga ulit yung equations natin sa objective cell? Sa objective cell objective function would be our objective function. Lagyan natin siya dito sa baba para hindi natin magalaw. Yan. Ang objective function natin is z is equal to ax plus by. So, ganyan natin siya kinocompose. Para lang maalala nyo. This is just a reminder. Kasi hindi naman natin gagamitin itong formula kasi nga si Excel na yung magpo-produce ng data natin. So, since we're done with our table, all we need to do is to summon our Excel solver. Highlight nyo muna itong total para nang pag kinlik mo yung data tab and you click solver, automatically, it will generate the solver parameter. Makikita mo dito sa set objective, naka-highlight na siya. But if you want, you may click it again para just to make it sure. Magbabago siya pero it's just the same. Right? So the first task for the solver parameter is to indicate your set objective. Since na-indicate na natin na ito yung objective function natin, tapos, pipiliin natin is max. Bakit? Because we're maximizing the profit. If we are lowering the cost, pipiliin natin is minimize. If we are setting a value that I would like to earn, for example, 1 million pesos, then yun ang gagamitin natin. But for now, wala po tayong specific value. That's why we're gonna choose max. Now, tapos na tayo sa dalawa. Sa pangatlo naman tayo, by changing variable cells, ang pipiliin po natin is color yellow, katulad ng sinabi natin here, or changing cells. Ito yun. Pag in-highlight mo ngayon yan, mag-auto-generate ngayon yung value here. Ibig sabihin, ito yung magiging changing cells natin. Now, after that, after these three, punta na tayo kay constraint. Sino nga ba yung constraint? Kapag nag-add tayo dito, mawawala yung first prompt and lalabas ngayon yung second prompt. Dito sa cell reference, ang ilalagay natin is the resource used. Ibig sabihin, the combination of these two, yun yung ilalagay natin here. Then you're gonna choose which relational function ang gagamitin mo. Meron kasi tayong less than or equal to, meron tayong equal to, meron tayong greater than or equal to, meron tayong integer, binary, and def. These three, madadaanan natin yan in a long run. Kapag nadidiscuss na natin yung ibang topic, especially pag nasa nonlinear tayo, etc., etc. Now, since kailangan ang ating resource use should be less than or equal to 40, ang pipiliin natin is less than or equal to. Sir, naglagay na tayo dito, ba't lalagay pa natin to? Kasi ito na, this is just a symbol. It's actually not related to any cells here. So, dito natin siya ilalagay talaga. Gusto lang natin ipakita sa client natin na our resource used is less than or equal to our constraint. So, in our constraint, ilalagay natin 40. Then, we're gonna click add. Mawawala yung mga generate natin here so that we can add the second constraint. Second constraint, resource used for the cost should be less than or equal to 15,750. Then, if we click add, mapupunta na siya sa main prompt natin. Kaya pag kinancel natin to, you may see that the subject to the constraint is the resource used is greater than or equal to our constraint. Right? Both yan. Ito. I'm sorry. Sorry. That's, I'm wrong. Yan. Ulitin ko Ang objective cell natin is the color orange. Ito siya. Tapos maximize. Objective cells, ang changing cells natin is the color yellow. And for the subject to constraint is the resource used should be less than or equal to our constraint. Kompleto na tayo ngayon. Always remember to take this make unconstrained variable non-negative because it's impossible for you to produce a negative value. Bakit? Kasi may budget naman may oras naman. Ibig sabihin lang nun, makakapag-produce ka. So it's impossible for you to get a negative value. That's why you're gonna take this one. Now, to select a solving method, meron tayong 3 choices dyan. Simplex LP is the linear programming. So this is the one we're gonna choose. Yung non-linear saka evolutionary, next topics natin, magagamit natin siya, pero hindi pwedeng gamitin ngayon. Bakit? Kasi po, linear programming po ang sinosolve natin. If you still remember the graph that we did to our manual computation, di ba, linear ang na-produce niya? So, meaning to say, it's a linear programming. So, simplex LP ang gagamitin natin. Now, after that, we are done. All we need to do is to click solve. Tanong, tama po ba ang mga nagawa natin? Tingnan natin. Pag kinlik ko ang solve, kung makikita mo, objective cell contains must be a formula. Hindi siya nag-go through. Kasi nga, wala pa tayong formulang nilagay. So, okay muna natin yan. Tapos, i-close muna natin. Now, lagyan muna natin ang formula. Ano nga ulit ang may mga formula? Lagay natin dito. Kasi sabi ng system, di ba? With formula. Yan. Tapos, dito sa changing cell, wala yan. So, lalagay natin no. Tapos, dito sa output cell with formula. Bakit? Kasi, imumultiply natin itong resource used dito sa unit produced. Simulan muna natin sa objective cell. Paano natin ilalagay ang ating formula? All you need to do is summon the sum product. Bakit sum product po? Sum product po ng alin? Ng sales natin, saka ng ating unit produced. Sir, bakit po? Kasi nga, enable for you to get the value of your objective, you have to multiply kung ilang unit ang pinroduce mo sa table, imumultiply natin sa presyo niya. Tapos, ilan ang na-produce natin sa cabinet, imumultiply natin sa presyo niya. So, in this way, malalaman natin magkano kikitain natin. So, that's the objective. If you press enter or click enter, you may see there it's 0. Bakit 0? Kasi nga, wala pa po tayong value sa unit produced. Pag minultiply natin 4, 5 sa 0, you will get 0. Right? So, we're done with our objective cell for our formula. Sa resource used naman, anong formula ang gagamitin natin? Kailangan natin malaman or kailangan ulit natin isamon si sum product. Sum product, tapos we're gonna highlight the time constraint na imumultiply natin sa unit produced para hindi siya sumobra sa 40 later. Alright? So, ganun din dito. Mag-generate din tayo or sasama natin sa product. Pero kung sobrang dami niyang, halimbawa, ang constraint mo nasa 25, isa-isahin mo ba yan? Hindi. Can I drag this down? Pag dinrag ko siya, tama kaya siya? Hindi siya tama. Bakit? Kung mapapansin mo, dito sa time constraint na resource used, ang formula niya is sum product C5 to D5, which is ito yon, imumultiply daw kay C9 to D9, which is our unit produced. Tama siya. Pero nung dinrag down natin siya pababa, ang nangyari, Si cost constraint natin, si C6 at si D6, which is the cost value, minultiply natin sa C10 and D10. Napunta siya sa ilalim. Sinunod niya yung ginawa natin dito sa una. So, mali. So, paano natin siya gagawin to save time? This is just an Excel tip, ha. Burahin muna natin siya. Balik muna tayo kay first resource use. Lalagyan lang natin ngayon yan ng $sign every details. Kasi bakit? Kapag nilagyan mo ng $sign ang bawat digit niyan, it's just saying na, oh, these tables or these cells are constant. Hindi siya pwedeng magalaw. Ngayon kapag in-enter natin siya, tapos pag dinrag down natin siya, mapapansin mo ngayon na dito sa value na nilagyan natin, hindi gumalaw si C9 at D9. So, minultiply natin si C9 at D9 kay C6 at D6. Ito yun. Clear tayo? O, balik tayo ngayon kay solver. Okay na tayo, right? Highlight natin ulit si objective function. Click the solver. Now, reset muna natin all kasi para hindi tayo magkaroon ng maling value. Ngayon, sige, click natin ulit to just to make sure na si objective function nakalagay dyan. We're gonna maximize it and we're gonna change or we're gonna highlight the changing cells that we created, which is the color yellow, and we're gonna add the constraint again. Now, if we're gonna add, sir, pwede po ba na i-drag down ko na lang? Tingnan natin. Pag dinrag down natin to, so ibig sabihin the cell reference should be less than or equal to our constraint, which is 40 and 15,750. If we click add, then we cancel so that we go back to our first prompt. Makikita mo isa lang yung constraint pero magkasama na sila yung mga constraints natin sa iisang equation lang. Okay na tayo dito. Click natin ang make unconstrained variable non-negative. Tapos, let's choose simplex LP because our topic is linear programming only. Then, if you click solve, it will auto-generate the answer. Kung naalala nyo dun sa manual computation natin, 20 table ang ipoproduce natin and 0 not share. Enable for us to get the 90,000. Right? What is the cons of computer simulated? Una sa lahat, hindi natin napakita yung 3 point of interest. 'Di ba sa manual computation natin, meron tayong tatlong choices. Si scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. So, yung con nun, hindi natin siya mapakita kay client na may ibang other choices. Pero it doesn't matter because the client is just asking kung magkano ang kailangan or ilan ang kailangan nating i-produce na table and chairs enable for us to get the maximum profit. And that's how you do a linear programming in Excel or in computer simulated one. I hope you learned a lot about this computer simulated process in linear programming. And thank you for listening. Again, this is Professor Harold saying, study more para sa future nyo. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.